The deaths and disappearances of several people connected to sensitive research in the U.S. has now prompted a federal investigation. In Massachusetts, a nuclear physicist and MIT professor fatally shot outside his home. In New Mexico, a retired Air Force general disappeared, and it was the same with an aerospace engineer in L.A. And these cases have fueled a lot of speculations in the social media space about nefarious activity.
Whether coincidence or conspiracy,
there's a high possibility that something sinister is taking place here.
The deaths and disappearances of about a dozen people who are either scientists or worked with scientists with access to sensitive national security information has gone from a fringe talker to a federal investigation.
What do you think your dad would say if he knew that there was an investigation like this?
I just know he is rolling in his grave, knowing that his name is going around being involved in something like this.
Julia Hicks's father, 59-year-old Michael David Hicks, was named in a letter from the Republican-led House Oversight Committee calling for the FBI, NASA, Department of Energy, and Department of Defense to investigate possible connections among cases including his, because he worked at the NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory on projects working to deflect near-Earth asteroids, and his obituary didn't state a cause of death. Julia Hicks was the one who found her father when he died.
He had underlying medical conditions for years and years and years, and when he passed away, I knew why. There was no need for an autopsy for me.
But the House Oversight Committee chair, Republican James Comer, thinks there's more to the story.
It's very unlikely that this is a coincidence. So Congress is very concerned about this. Our committee is making this one of our priorities now because we view this as a national security threat.
President Trump called the matter pretty serious stuff.
I hope it's random, but some of them were very important people, and we're going to look at it.
The cases sparking speculation date back to 2022 when Amy Eskridge died at age 34. She had founded the Institute for Exotic Science.
You can't be calling these people to be like, can I disclose UFOs tomorrow? You have to be like in talks with these people.
But her family told CNN in a statement, people should realize that scientists die also and not make too much of this. Conspiracy theories also swirl around 39-year-old Matthew James Sullivan, a U.S. Air Force intelligence officer who died in 2024. Republican Congressman Eric Burleson wrote about Sullivan in a letter saying Sullivan was about to testify in a whistleblower case about UFOs. Circumstances around some of the scientists being lumped into this mysterious group are actually well documented.
Specifically, the MIT professor who was killed, as we know, by the same person who shot up the classroom at Brown University. There was another researcher who was a scientist who was a researcher for a big pharma company that also doesn't really fit the potential pattern.
But former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe says it's worth exploring the cases with no known connection and cannot be explained at the moment, like the disappearance of Melissa Cassius and Anthony Chavez, who worked at Los Alamos National Laboratory. Chavez's best friend told CNN it's about time for a federal investigation. As for some speculation that these deaths or disappearances could be linked to work with UFOs,
that's really not very helpful to investigators. They want to kind of not prejudge anything and really just look at the raw facts.
The White House press secretary says the administration is working with relevant agencies to review the cases to see if any potential commonalities exist.